I think it was the best of times and the worst of times. Who said that? It was Charles Dickens when he wrote the novel, that is, The Tale of Two Cities, depicting the then economic scenario in 1858. Well, since then, we have gone with ups and downs in various kind of economic scenario. Today, with a slowdown, post-recession, we are all dealing with the difficult times. But let me tell you, when were the times not difficult? They were always difficult in this mortal world for we mortal human beings. We need to make it extraordinary with that extraordinary efforts from our end. In these difficult times, how do we handle career expectations? So handling career expectations during slowdown happens to be the technical session this very moment. And don't you think the very moment is again a difficult time for we two speakers over here? Because it's a pre-lunch session. Yes, I think Mr. Singh was very lucky that way, I would say. I don't envy him, but I see the flip side that I'm lucky that I'm not in the post-lunch session. Do you all agree? I'm sure you're all hungry. Hungry for more knowledge. Yes? If that's the kind of fire in belly you have, I'm sure you're going to sail through all the turbulent times. So ladies and gentlemen, I take you over to the session on handling career expectations during a slowdown. I would request my co-speaker, Mr. Vivek Kapoor, to take forward the session, and we will take it to you on a chat format. Please be interactive, and if you have that little hunger in you, I'm sure you'll make it very, very interactive and making the best in terms of maximizing the learning. Hello, am I audible? If I'm not, please let me know. Okay.
Hi guys. So actually, I vision myself sitting there. You know, I'll just like to give you a brief background about us. We were 4 friends who started dineout.co.in. We were in school together since nursery. In all our cushion jobs, you know, somebody mentioned that I was in Merchant Navy, but my partners were far better off. One was in BNP Paribas in UK, the other one was Microsoft US. So, and during slowdown, we jumped into this. Yeah, so that's how we would start.
So it was the best of times for them. Yes, that's a good note, Vivek. Okay, coming to the topic and the very first question for the audience benefit, I would request if you could, I think it's the cell phones which are creating barriers. Okay, so please, could you tell us something about how would you like to define career expectations? What exactly you mean by career expectations?
Well, it's a boring topic. It's a boring topic, but I'll try to make it as interesting as possible.
We trust you.
Okay, career expectations, you look at it from 2 ways. One is from the employee's perspective. The second one is from the employer's perspective. So it goes hand in hand. When I've expected something out of my employer when I was an employee, and now when I'm running the startup, when the people come to me for employment, and that is something my expectations differ. So if I have to choose as from an employee's perspective, I would see something that does not tire me, something that does not bore me, and somewhere where I could actually innovate every day. You know, there is something that I do. It doesn't tire me, even if I'm sitting in front of the computer or I'm going out for meetings in the field. It should not tire me. That's what I feel from an employee's perspective.
You mean to say that you look forward, I mean employees should look forward to that they're enjoying while they're working?
Exactly. I mean, obviously enjoyment is one thing, and I would never ever degrade the hunger for money. Okay, you should make money. That is what we are studying for. That is not a problem, because that keeps the fire in the belly, as she mentioned. So that is also one thing. And the other thing is, obviously, boring, innovation, creativity, intellectual growth is something that you should look for whenever you're looking for a workplace or career expectations, as we all talk about. I'll give you a small example in this. When we started Dineout, we had our mentor as well, so he was this perfect, the cream of the crowd. He was working in Microsoft at a very high level post. He was an IIT alumni, he was an IM alumni, so all those top B schools he had graduated from with top percentile. So he went to US working with Microsoft. He worked there for about 2 years, and and I asked him that, why did you leave? People die for those kind of jobs. Why did you leave it? He said there was the only problem was that once I went for a holiday without informing my immediate manager for about 7 days, and when I came back, he didn't even notice me. That is something. If you're working at a place, your absence should be felt. You should be missed. Everything that you're doing should be counted, and that is what it is. I think today, what it gives me great pleasure to tell you that if each and every person in my office is missed if he's not there.
I think that's very important because when you start your career, I'm sure you look forward to your career growth, and that can only happen in terms of performance. And if you are contributing to the growth of the organization, automatically your career growth is charted out by the employer. Now, if you have contributed enough and if you're out even for a day, people start missing you. So make yourself that very important person in the organization that your career expectations are not only met, but you go beyond that.
And the other aspect of the question is from an employer's perspective. From an employer's perspective, obviously the team that I'm working with, I would want them to grow. It is a pleasure to work in a crowd which is motivated, which is intellectually sound, which is creative, and every day they're buzzing with ideas. Every day we're kind of brainstorming on some sort of thing or the other. We try to build technology, we try to build systems in the back end, so everything becomes, so basically it is that the person who's working with you, he should be aligned with your dream. He should be in sync with what you with your vision of the company. And that is what my perspective is. If I'm sitting in an interview room and if somebody comes and says I want to join your company, I would just see how motivated he is, to what value add is he getting, and how different he wants to do, differently he wants to do stuff. I guess that's
I think
one thing.
That's very correct, Vivek. I think both the career expectations of the employee and the career expectations of the employer, they go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So if you are aspiring to do well and you are achieving your goals, you automatically are aligning your achievements with the organizational goals. So automatically the employer notices that and cannot afford to miss you, and your career growth takes place.
I would definitely get my team in sync with my dream, with my vision. They actually know what I expect from the company, not from them. So we work as a collective unit, but they know what I want from the company, what I envision for the next 2 years, what we as founders, we 4 founders envision, what dreams we have. So that is one thing. If an employee shares those dreams with you, that is something that an employer looks for.
I think they're all perfect, and they're all perfect in good times and general times. But Vivek, could you just highlight, during the slowdown, how do you think the career expectations have shifted or changed because it's a difficult time, and how do one sail through?
See, career expectation during slowdown. So every industry is going through a slowdown. It's not just I had envisioned we should have raised Series A funding last year, okay, but we didn't. So we're kind of bootstrapping. We had promised our employees that there would be a raise once there is Series A, but that did not happen. We had promised ourselves that we would be launching in 3 cities, 4 cities when we raised Series A, but that did not happen. But still, we're growing in numbers. People are recognizing us. The fact of the matter is that our attrition rate is next to 10%. Although we do not have a big team, but still that counts. People who stick by you during your low times, they would reap the benefits when you're up. So that is one thing very important. If you're in a company, in an organization which is going through a lean period, you should gauge getting $100 up and down, it's not in the long run, it does not matter. It does not matter. I'm telling you, it is of no significance if you're getting $100 up maybe somewhere else and down somewhere else. It is about the job profile, it is about the job description, it is about how intellectually you're growing. That is what is the most important thing. So if there is a career slowdown, you need to gauge whether you need to stay put or you need to jump. If you've invested in something, if you're giving in time, but you don't see a growth at all. I mean, my employees have stuck by us because I think they see something, some value add to them. I'm sure not just financially, more than that. So they've stuck by us in terms of during our bad times. But they are going to reap benefits when we grow big. I mean, we are trying to get there. People are recognizing us, and they themselves see that. They themselves see that, and they themselves are proud of it, that they've stuck by us during our low times. And so from a very, very fair perspective, you need to see, you need to gauge if you have to stay here or you need to jump, and you have to analyze the pros and cons. हो सकता है तुमने jump कर दिया, but within 6 months that company shuts down. Maybe they were offering you $100 extra. Then what? Then what? Maybe you shift, but then the job profile is such that you actually suffocate. Then what happens? Okay, maybe you do not shift, you stay here, but the company is going down, 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 down. There's no point of, you have to take a bold step and be strong about it and back your decisions. Cut your losses early. That's what I would say.
I think that's very correct. To add on little over here, I think corporate today, if they are having a lean organization, they try to maintain that. And I was very recently interacting with one of the HR professionals of LNG Petronet, and I found that despite they doing good business during the lean period, yet they are maintaining that lean organizational structure, and they do not have place for summer interns. They do not want to expand. Rather, the employees are little loaded. So there, the employer's perspective during a lean season is that they expect their employees, because in the good times, if they've been fed well, they should be paying that little in terms of being loyal or giving that little extra more. But yes, if it is very suffocating for the employees, because there is kind of a mass layoff happening, the business is not happening, you must look out for opportunities. But like if winter is not there forever, I think you should sail through the difficult times, because the best time is just round the corner. And it's like that little famous poem which says, learn to labor and to wait.
Yeah. Good thing comes to those who wait.
Yes, good. Okay, the next question to you is, Vivek, today what are the career expectations of new entrants?
New entrants.
In terms of, again, slowdown.
In terms of slowdown. So new entrants, I would say, in terms of slowdown, in terms of economic boom, whatever it is, there are only 2-3 factors. We can polish it, we can actually put it in a very, very formal way, but the main thing is hunger for money, hunger for position, and hunger to do good work, to do intellectually pleasing and challenging work. So I appreciate hunger for money, I appreciate hunger for position, but if you do not have the third one, you will never get the first two. So it is the ability, it is the hunger to do good work, which actually, that triggers that chord in you, which gives you that satisfaction, which gives you that, when you go back home and you lie back on your bed, stressed out, but it gives you satisfaction ki I've done good work today. And if you've done good work, money would come, position would come, power would come, for sure.
Yes, learn to be true to yourself, give that extra effort, and automatically you are noticed and you will sail through.
So as an employer, people have come to us, when we go for our job, what is the CTC, what is the salary? So you need to gauge if that person is important. Then you have to, as an employer, I'm just telling you how we come around the situation. We try to have the balance between all kinds. You cannot have a perfect employee, you cannot have a perfect person. I'm not perfect. Somewhere there are problems with me as well. So you need to actually cater to those aspects. As a startup, I have that bandwidth where I can innovate, where I do have the powers. I do not have to go through that red tapeism, or there are no set procedures, so we can actually take decisions very quickly. So if there is an employee who wants position, then we tell him, what rank do you want? He said blah blah blah. Okay, take it, whatever you want. Okay, if you want to manage crew, take it. If you want to manage people, take it. But then I would hire you for what you're saying, but I'm quicker to fire. So that's something that we come up with.
Very correct. If you have that hunger for position, mind you, you're taking a role, a responsibility. So you got to have the task orientation and striking a balance with team orientation. If you only have that self orientation and that hunger for money, it is very short term, very short-lived. So striking a balance, that task orientation and team orientation will automatically help you to perform, and your self orientation is taken care over here.
Yeah.
Over to the next question, Vivek. Now, you're a co-founder of a startup which is doing very well. Now, please tell me, because it's become quite trendy nowadays to join startups, because startups give you that kind of exposure. So how would you rate, what are the career expectations of professionals who are joining startups today?
Career expectations of professionals joining startups. See, I was a professional. I joined, I jumped into Dine Out because I just got bored of what I was doing. It was a fabulous, Merchant Navy is a fabulous profession. It's a beautiful line of work. It is very ethical. There is no unethical or compromising your own conscience happens. It is a very, very decent profession. But there was somewhere I had sailed for 10 years. My intellectual cord, or maybe my creative cord, was not being triggered anymore, and I thought that I should need. So that is one thing which says ki when professionals jump to a startup atmosphere. The second thing is, in startup you're more like a Superman. You're more like a Superman. You're doing everything. You're doing PMgiri. You're doing collections. You're doing taking strategic decisions. You're handling the CAs. You're handling the lawyers. You're handling the team. You're sitting down with your technical department. You're doing marketing campaigns. Now, as a Merchant Navy guy, I wouldn't have ever touched these facets of work. I wouldn't have even got to. I wouldn't have got that exposure. So this is why I'm doing it. I think this is why people do it.
I think that's very well said. It's coming from the horse himself over here. And I think, in my experience, when you join a startup, you multitask, you're exposed to so many things, you face the ground reality very young in life. So tomorrow when you're heading to have your own startup, or you're at the helm of affairs of any organization, you can certainly see everything, and you can understand your employees very well, you can understand your customers very well. You certainly then can align your business goals and take it to a new success.
Exactly. You get to do so many things, you get to learn so much. I'm not saying that we are earning,
and many startups do pay very well. That's again my placement scenario experience.
Which startup is paying very well? Please tell me. I would go there.
There are international startups who pay very, very well, and successful startups, they play very well, but only because you have worked so well. Yeah. Everything comes how you contribute, what you contribute.
Okay, that is very important.
Very important.
What you bring to the table.
Yes.
That is buddy organizations where you can actually wriggle out. You can hide under the table, but with startup, you're totally under the scanner always. Every move that you make, every thing that you do is totally you get, it's easily noticeable. That's what if you're out for 15 minutes out of the office, your absence would be felt. I think that's a good thing. People miss you. So
very true.
Yeah.
Now, Vivek, we are here in a management institute, and they're all aspiring managers over here. Please tell us what should be their career expectations when when they are planning to begin their career now. So what should be their career expectations right now?
Career expectations. It's a very big term, career expectations, that I am looking, obviously intellectual growth, as I keep on blabbering about the same thing, but I really mean it. That's why that's very important. But one thing is, no job is small. I, as a co-founder, when we started off, I have actually, when we got our revenue system in place, the restaurants, it was difficult to get money out of restaurants. It was difficult to squeeze out money. They're also running into tight budgets and all. But it is an expense that we had to tell them that they're going to incur, like an electricity bill or like a food this thing resource bill. So I had sat outside accountants' offices with other founders as well. So one was there, I was there. For Miaga payments, like for 2000 key payment hoti thi, and I've sat outside offices just to ensure that accountant actually knows me, that I'm doing it. So that I'm here for collections, and this is just a part of it. There have been times when my office is in basement. So during rains, pani bhar gaya. And to keep my office running, because the call flow is so much that I had to ask my calling team and my office staff to sit and actually continue with their work while we as founders, we were shoveling water out of the basement, and that is what we did. So it's disheartening, but there have been instances when MBAs who I've employed have gone to meetings and said कि मैं meeting नहीं करा क्योंकि because वहाँ पे मुझे parking नहीं मिली. These sort of things also come your way. So I want to tell you is, if you want to scale up, if you want to become the co-founder or CEO of a company, if you want to earn a 10 lakh CDC, you have to start from scratch, and no job is small. No job, absolutely no job is small, and nothing is demeaning. That is what I feel, and that should be your main expectations out of a career. You build your career block by block, but there is a time when you have to lay the first block at the foundation level, at the grassroots level. And if a person who's sitting up there gives you a job which is at a grassroots level, do not think it's a small job. You start there. Once you've showed him that you're the master of that job, he would give you the job which is up and above. That's for sure. That's I've seen happening in front of me.
I think that's very true. I think to throw some more examples to you, which you all are aware, late Steve Jobs, Mr. Bill Gates, they all began very small in garages and basements, and today when they started up, and today where's the company? We all aspire to work for in Microsoft or let it be Apple. Say for example, Narayan Murthy, who started small, his wife had to quit the job from Tata's, then HR head, Mr. Irani used to say, no, don't. You let your husband start. No, he needs my support. Both of them were engineers and they started. Today, Mr. Narayan Murthy, despite the good times and the bad times, he's still traveling economic class.
Warren Buffett.
Huh?
Warren Buffett.
Yes.
Warren Buffett.
So you'll have many such examples. So it's better to be inspired and see if we can follow them somewhere. And you never know where the future, whatever the future will be, will be.
I'm sure you worked hard for your degrees, MBAs, MCAs. It's a tough job. It's a tough course as well. But when you come out in the open, when you come out in the world, real world, your MBA degree is going to be definitely important to land you that job. But to sustain with that job, it is your heart that keeps you there. So remember that. So I mean,
before I keep the house open, I'll have one question, last question from my end. Now tell me, now these students, when they start joining their organization, how they should be managing their career expectations, because if they're beginning their career from March or April this year, or May, June, how do you think they should be managing their career expectations? Because again, the times are still very difficult. How they should be?
You're asking in terms of their long-term growth?
They join and then how they should manage?
See, again, as I mentioned, managing it's not a tough job. It's you have to see what you want out of your career. You have to see what you envision from your personal for yourself, for your personal self. If you want to start a company, but you need to understand how company starts. You need to get your basics right. You need to work first, because that's what my thing is. you should ideate, you should believe in what you want to do, but you should get your basics right. You should actually spend a lot of time with each and every aspect of the business or the company that you're working in. I mean, as a person that I mean, because Dineout is my baby, it's not because of that I spend time with the technology team, I spend time with the accounts team, I spend time with the marketing team, I spend time. It's not like that. But even when I was on the ship, I used to go to the engine department, work with them. I used to work with the crew, painting, chipping. I mean, my job description was up with the captain as well. But I used to do everything. So that the key to do is you continue to learn, and you would keep that hunger inside of learning, and then you'll prosper, you'll grow. And once you know that what interests you, just keep on focusing in that direction, and then you become the master of that, and that's where the dividends and things would come. That's what I think. I mean,
Yeah,
if I've
that's
answered
correct.
it correctly.
You got it correct. I'll just add on one point more.
Yeah.